Hello, everybody. Welcome to TCM. I'm Ben Mankiewicz. We're talking about journalism in the movies all month, and I'm joined by Anderson Cooper from CNN in Anderson Studio.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice to have you here. Appreciate it. So this is As Good as It Gets, Network, a movie about network television.
It is the movie. I mean, it's so prescient and ahead of its time and of its time, but you know, you watch it today and it's predicted everything.
Yes, that's right. It has really largely predicted everything. I mean, there is a scene in the movie, I'll spoil one scene, it's not significant, where there is a discussion among high-level network executives about whether they should execute their lead anchor. And yes. I'm not entirely sure those conversations have taken place, but everything else in the film
But there's
feels
a great
possible.
line in it, and I wrote it down, but I can't remember the exact wording of it, but where they're proposing to keep Howard Beale on the air, and it's Faye Dunaway making this proposal, and she's more from like sort of the entertainment side, and she pitches this idea to the head of the company, and he says, it's Robert Duvall, and Robert Duvall says something to the effect of like, you want to put an emotionally unhinged, angry, unstable guy on the air? And she's like, yes.
It's 20 after 10. We want Beale in that studio by 6:30. We don't want to lose the momentum.
For God's sakes, Diana, we're talking about putting a manifestly irresponsible man on national television.
You're thinking, there's no way they'll put this guy on the air. I'm like, he would now have a nightly show on cable news. That's right. On a couple of other networks. He would be a huge star. I mean, I feel like there are sort of wannabe Howard Beales or people who are just a few shades away from being Howard Beale all over cable news.
Conceived as satire, received as truth.
The cast is so amazing. Yeah. And Ned Beatty, I got nominated for an Academy Award.
One speech.
Right, one speech. I mean, that's an incredible thing.
Beatrice Straight won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. She plays William Holden's wife. She's on screen for fewer than 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Wake up, Max, because Howard's gone.
I'll make you some coffee.
She was a good friend of my mom. She was over at the house. My mom had
This is my favorite part of this interview.
My mom had
finding out who was over to
My mom had been married to Sidney Lumet, who directed the movie.
Right, of course, that's right.
So she wasn't married to him at the time. She'd been married to him before when he was mostly doing theater, and then he ended up doing, I think, 12 Angry Men was his first film.
Television and then film, yeah.
And then after my dad died in '78, she started dating Sidney again, and they almost got remarried. That was around when he was making The Wiz. But, I mean, he was such a great director and just a lovely, lovely guy. But this movie is just so... It's so incredible. I mean, it really captures something about sort of being in a newsroom, in a television newsroom, and in the executive suites of television, of management. All this talk about ratings. I remember I once interviewed Walter Cronkite a couple of years before he died, and I asked him how his ratings were, and he looked at me blankly. And he was like, I never really looked at the ratings. And I don't know how true that was, but he certainly, at that time, and this is talked about in Network, the news divisions weren't supposed to make a profit for the company. It was expected they were going to lose money.
That changed.
Right, and that changed. And in Network, you really start to see, it's Robert Duvall basically wanting to take the news division, making it part of the corporation, not a separate entity. And that's a battle that, was fought and lost by news divisions at that time.
You mentioned Walter Cronkite. I got some great quotes from Cronkite and Newman and the basic reaction that the mainstream media had to Network. We'll talk about that after we watch the movie. Here it is, from 1976, directed by Sidney Lumet. 5 actors in the film nominated for Oscars. 3 of them won. Best Actress for Faye Dunaway, Best Actor posthumously for Peter Finch, Best Supporting Actress for Beatrice Straight. This is Network.